You know, if you look at this from the surface, on the surface it looks like part of the pattern, the killings and counter killings that has been going on in Manipur, part of the same violence that has been going on in Manipur. There has been firing from miscreants from both sides, that is the sides of the valley as well as from the hills. This time round the big question is whether it is part of the pattern, whether it is not. This incident took place at 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗛𝗏 village. It's a village of about 50 households. It's a cookie village, a small cookie village in 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 district. 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 district is a predominantly Naga dominated district. This district was carved out of 𝗟𝗏𝗡 district. Now this district borders 𝗡𝗢𝗏, that is in the valley, and it is close to the Imphal 𝗡𝗢𝗏 highway, Imphal More highway. And now the big question is, now whether you are asking the question whether it is part of the pattern, whether this attack was something different. Now for 10 days or more than 10 days there has been relative peace, there has been relative calm as far as Manipur is concerned, and suddenly you see an attack on this small cookie village, and all the 3 cookies who died were village defense volunteers. And as we have reported, there were 4 volunteers in that bunker which was 1 kilometer ahead of the village, and that has been a normal practice, villagers guarding their respective villages. So this was a bunker about 1 kilometer ahead of the 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 village. There were 4 people in that bunker, all young men between 25 to 35 years of age, and this morning around 4 o'clock it came under attack. One of the men in the bunkers had gone to the village to ask for replacement of the shift. They used to work long shifts, and shift was to end at 5 o'clock. He had gone there to send a fresh batch of people to guard the village, to people to replace them in that bunker. So there were 3 men when it came under attack, and all the 3 were killed. Now there are various reports floating around whether the gunmen were part of any group. We don't know. The government has not clarified anything on that as of now. Now one thing we have heard is that the Assam Rifle Post, which was located near the place of occurrence, near the site of today's incident, was removed from there just 2 days ago. There was an Assam Rifles post close to the site of the incident, and that Assam Rifle post was removed from there 2 days ago. We'll talk to the defense sources to get a formal confirmation to this bit of news, but our sources from the ground are telling us that the Assam Rifle post was shifted from that location just 2 days ago, and perhaps the attackers were aware of the fact that the Assam Rifles post was no longer in the vicinity of that particular bunker that came in the attack where 3 people were killed. Now this is the big question arises as to whether the Manipur government has any clue as to who could be behind the attack. Were they normal miscreants from the valley? Were they part of an organized group whose members or cadres carried out this attack? The government of Manipur or the authorities will have to tell us, because we cannot conclude on that, but it's in the realm of speculation at this point in time. Now, but if you ask me the road ahead, what is the road ahead in Manipur now? Because the government, the government and the authorities are going about shouting from the rooftop that everything is fine, peace has returned to Manipur. Last 10 days there has been no firing, no violence. So I mean, definitely an impression is given that everything is calm, everything is hunky-dory. But yes, definitely I must say that the scale of violence has drastically come down. Yes, we must also admit that there was no major incidents of violence in the last 10 days or more, that these are very, very good signs. But I would like to ask the question, what are the efforts? Is there any effort at peacemaking? Is there any effort at peacemaking at all by either the Manipur government, the civil society, both from the valley or the hills? The answer will be no, if I have to say from the studios here, because we have not seen any visible attempt at peacemaking. Yes, the government had, right at the early days, during the early days of the violence that began on the 3rd of May, the government of India, they constituted a 51-member peace committee under the governor of Manipur. But that peace committee was an absolute non-starter, because members after members started resigning from the peace committee, and it did not actually get going. It was a non-starter. So there was no peace committee actually. Now, is there anyone who is trying to make peace? Not to our knowledge. Everybody is sitting with their own demands. The cookies are sitting pretty with the demand for a separate administration. On and off in the last couple of weeks, they had done several massive rallies to push for their demand for a separate administration. Same is the case in the valley. There has been rallies opposing the demand for a separate administration, asking for the SOO, that says the suspension of operation agreement, to be revoked, and so on and so forth. Now, the both sides, the hillside as well as the valley sides, are sitting pretty with their respective set of demands, but on the surface there is no serious effort at peacemaking. Yes, some of the central government, top leaders in the central government, are talking to leaders both from the Meitei community as well as the Kuki community, but on the ground, whether it is in Churachandpur, whether it is in Kangpokpi, whether it is in the Imphal Valley, we don't see any visible efforts at peacemaking. So this is something that is a matter of serious concern, because this will keep the situation festering for long, and we can see this kind of sudden bursts of violence that had happened around dawn this morning, leading to the death of 3 youths. Now these are big questions. How is the government proposing to move ahead? How is the government trying to bring the two communities together? How is the government planning to get back to status quo? Nobody knows actually. Everybody is claiming that situation is fine, situation is now getting back to normal. Yes, the scale of violence has come down. Yes, the number of incidents are coming down. But is this the early signs of peace? It is very, very difficult to say, because the situation continues to be volatile, and serious efforts at peacemaking on the ground is the need of the hour.
Right. So Wasbir very rightly pointed out, all the parties are they have their demands in place. However, somewhere along the line, it does seem like that as if the road towards restoration of peace is getting lost, because everyone is very adamant about their demands. However, the visible efforts to restore peace in the state seems to have been lost amidst all these demands, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, Ronak. In the last 3.5 months that the violence has been rocking the state of Manipur, violence has devastated Manipur. Actually, the education system is absolutely in doldrums, and so on and so forth. But during this entire 3.5 month period, it was only on one occasion that the Kukis and the Meiteis had come together, and that was at the initiative of the Forum for Naga Reconciliation. And this face-to-face prayer meeting took place in 𝗡𝗢𝗥𝗧𝗏 near Dimapur, and this took place not in Manipur but in Nagaland at the initiative of the Forum for Naga Reconciliation. This was the only instance, Raunak, so far that the two sides, the two clashing communities came together. And now by the 2nd of September, the Manipur Assembly session must be, one session must be held, because the assemblies, the legislative assemblies must meet every 6 months, once at least in every 6 months. So by 2nd of September, they have to have a session. But the big question is, will the 10 Kuki Joe MLAs be able to attend the session? Certainly they may not come to Manipur, but authorities are telling us that in fact, even the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh had told Northeast Life a few days ago that there will be attempts to have a virtual session, in the sense that they will make arrangements so that these Kuki Joe MLAs can connect virtually and be present in the proceedings. Now, whether they are going to take up this offer, whether this is really going to happen, we don't know. We'll have to wait and watch.